It is time for Weather Impact Live here. And of course, we're continuing to deal with the cold, not only the forecast and the current temperature, but we do have some news to get to as well in relation to the cold. It's having all sorts of impacts here across the First Coast outside of just being cold. So, of course, we have our news extraordinaire. That's what they call her on a resume.
That's what they
here.
say.
Yeah, that's what they say. Channing over here. Of course, we got more cold temperatures out there tonight.
Yeah.
I know one of the big issues we've had so far today has been these a lot of pipe bursts, a
Yes.
lot of just things like that.
Yeah.
So, what do you got for us here? What's some of the
Yeah.
latest things going on in the city?
Man, so many different things. So one thing, we did get an update earlier today from JEA asking people, one, to try and reduce your energy usage, your power usage tomorrow morning, those early morning hours. They really said between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. If you can, in some way, shape, or form, try not to use as much electricity. They're kind of worried about the power grid, nothing seriously concerning or anything like that, but they're just giving people an update, letting people know maybe to back off some of the usage.
Channing, that reminds me of in the summer they ask us to do this.
Exactly.
When it gets up to 100 and everybody's blasting the AC at the same time. So you're telling me that basically everybody's blasting the furnace at the same time.
Absolutely. It seems like that's causing a bit of a problem. Another problem, kind of in that same vein, people who are dripping their faucets. We've been telling you, everybody, myself included, to make sure that you leave a faucet dripping, use that hot water to leave it dripping. But apparently, that's also causing some water issues as well. Downtown Jacksonville, a lot of different businesses, apartments, homes are reporting that they are receiving a lower water usage, a lower water pressure. And there are several burst pipes all around town, things like that. So another thing the JEA is also telling us, I want to read from their notice that they actually sent out to us, that because of the extended extreme cold weather, it's actually driving those higher than normal electricity demands and water demands. So they're just reminding customers to try and reduce that strain on the grid. So little things like, if you don't have to wash clothes tonight, if you don't have to run your dishwasher tonight, those kinds of things, if you can avoid doing them, say for the next 12 to 24 hours, they're asking that you can avoid doing those. Like I said, it's a really big problem in downtown Jacksonville specifically, maybe because there's so many businesses concentrated in downtown Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office headquarters is going to be closed to the public tomorrow because of a weather-related issue. We don't know what that issue is yet, but they actually sent us a notice to notify our viewers of that for tomorrow. Other than that, though, no other closures, nothing. We haven't gotten anything like that, but definitely something to keep an eye on.
And this is something I've been asking, Duval County schools. Now, I know we closed during hurricanes and severe weather, and it's not like we're getting snow. The roads will be fine to get to school. But I do worry about the kids walking to school, or anybody with the portable schools.
Yes.
If you have to go out between buildings. We haven't had anything from DCPS or any of our schools around our area.
No,
right?
And we have been checking actually with some of our school districts to just to confirm all of that, because nobody has sent us anything. But like you mentioned, it is a concern, especially those early morning hours, that school drop-off time. Like you mentioned, kids waiting for the bus, kids walking to school, those kind of things, those early morning hours where look at what those temperatures are going to be like. It's going to be bitterly cold.
And so I would highly suggest wrapping the kids up.
Yes.
I mean, I know in Florida, Southeast Georgia, the further north you go, a lot of people have those winter coats.
Yeah.
But here in Florida, especially for a rapidly growing child, you're not going to be buying the biggest jackets because they're expensive.
Yeah.
And you blow through them. What are you going to wear for 5 days and then that's it? And then it warms back up and you don't need it. So multiple layers tomorrow morning. Wrap up. You may feel a little goofy. You can get to school and peel some of that off into the afternoon, but it's still going to be chilly. But I would say multiple layers out there. Marlo, our director behind the scenes, just asked me a really good question. So when we're dripping the water, do we need to drip hot water?
Ooh, I love this question.
It's a very good question. I've never thought about that, but I'm thinking it makes sense to think that.
Yes. So it's funny. So I interviewed a plumber earlier this week when we were anticipating all of this cold and everything. So I'm really excited to share this one because it is the hot water that you're actually supposed to drip. I got to ask a plumber this, like, does it matter if it's hot or cold water? Yes, leaving water dripping is still what you want, but you want that hot water because you're really trying to alleviate pressure in your pipes. And it was a very technical explanation, but essentially that's the water that you want running. You also want to turn on the faucet that is the furthest away from your hot water heater. Because what you're trying to do is get the water from that hot water heater through your faucets. And that's what you want to continuously run. Not at a full drip. You don't want like the full trickle of water, just like a nice little steady that drip, drip, drip. Just that.
Smart.
I was so glad I asked that this week.
No, I'm glad you know all about it. And for me, I noticed where my pipes froze this morning, and I'm gonna throw her under the bus. Lee Southwick's pipes froze too. So two of her Mets we got a little like pie in our face here. Our pipes froze. Mine, thankfully, once the sun came out, it hit it, and I know exactly where it froze. It's the connection, the above ground connection from your house to the JEA pipes that a lot of people have in their front yard. We have it outside of First Coast News, and this is what our pipe. Well, this is the irrigation. This wasn't our main pipe. This is the irrigation. Thank goodness. But our pressure is low here down too. And so it's that connection there.
See.
So what we did today, because our pipes, we wrapped it. I don't know if wrapping it in a blanket is going to do anything. I noticed all my neighbors did it.
Yeah.
And if I'm anything, I am somebody who watches everybody else do it, and I go, well, they must be onto something. So I noticed them too, and just saying, maybe just doing that little wrap, just covering it up will keep it just that much warmer, and still do the faucet stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe it could keep it that much warmer if you do have that exposed pipe in front of your house, which I know a lot of us do here on the First Coast.
And so, Robert, it's funny you mentioned the blankets. So that was another thing that the plumber I talked to this week actually mentioned, that using your blankets is actually a great idea.
Oh, thank goodness.
I
was thinking it was like, what are you doing? It's not a dog. It's a water pipe, but okay.
Yeah, no, apparently like a blanket, towels, even he even mentioned a pool noodle, because what they actually use to wrap them in is very similar to a pool noodle. So you could really take a pool noodle and even wrap your pipes in it, whatever you can to just kind of keep some of that cold off of it. But yeah, a blanket is perfect. Whatever you have, if you can keep any of that exposed pipe from being exposed for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I feel a little better now. Yeah. I feel like I did something productive today where my neighbors aren't going to look at me and go, this guy is supposed to be a weatherman, and I did something right.
You did. You are the expert. We already knew that already. So yeah, like it was what you did covering those pipes. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. This morning, we got down to 22 degrees. Record low. The previous record was 24. Check out some of these photos sent to us from our... hold on a second. I want to go back to that real quick before I go to this. A previous record high was 83. I just want to soak that in for a moment. Oh, also, there's the full wolf moon out there too. Yeah, there you go.
Beautiful.
It's a full moon. It's behind the lower the title, but it's there. That's what all the reflection is. Okay, back to reality. Wayne sent this in. This is sent from Queens Harbor, right there off of Atlantic.
Wow.
That is the fountain right at the front.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even recognize it.
Right? Oh my goodness. Oh, that is a little too cold. And then Christine sent this out of Fernandina Beach.
Ooh.
Which the same spot, Fernandina Beach, to get those snow flurries yesterday as well.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. Look at that photo. It looks beautiful, but that just means it's very cold.
It looks beautiful, but you're right. Oh my goodness. All right, so there's a look at the 7-day. I'm going to talk more about that in the forecast here in just a few minutes. I want to thank Channing for coming in and talking with us here.
Of course.
Because she is the news extraordinaire. And and you had all that great information, and you did the story with the plumbers. I need to hear more about this.
Yeah, it was absolutely great. We talked about protecting your pipes, your plants, people, all of the things that you start thinking about when it's this cold. Luckily, like we haven't had any like extreme power outages over the last couple of days, which is really nice.
Thank
We're hoping
gosh.
everybody stays warm. We do still have all of those warming centers. If you need one, they're available on our website right now, firstcoastnews.com, so you can get all of that information. They are still open.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, they have to be still open. Have they talked about keeping those shelters open today and tomorrow, or is it just for?
Well, so that's actually a great question. So Jacksonville, City of Jacksonville is using the Legends Center as the warming center for the city. They will be open until 9 a.m. tomorrow. No word yet if they're going to extend that at all, but we do know that they are open until 9 a.m. as their schedule is set right now.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Channing.
Of course. Happy to be here.
And Channing will be giving you the latest news as well. Is Zach still covering the pipes for 11 o'clock?
Yes.
I mean, which is good because, like we just talked all about here, there's a lot of impacts from them. So
many.
11 o'clock, we'll be talking about all of that as well as to give you the latest forecast. But don't go anywhere. We're going to go to a break because you still got 20 more minutes of me talking about the weather here. I want to see your questions on our social media and everything. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Let's go to a commercial. All right, welcome back. And let's talk about this storm as a whole. All of the cold air we're seeing out here. Do you want to say Daniel just wrote on our social media, simply said I'm freezing, and I get you. I hear you. The heat inside the studio here is subpar. We'll just say that. It is rather chilly, and I'm sure everybody's feeling it out there today. And the reason why is because of this deep area of low pressure. When I say deep, rapidly developing low here, pressure within this below 970 millibars, which I know it's apple to oranges. It's not the same, but 970 is usually about where you put a Cat 1 hurricane. Now, this is not that, and I said apple to oranges, but it is just drawing in this cold air. Look at this. Look at all these cold weather clouds just offshore within that circle there. There's even snow forming up in that. And then even up towards the north, where, of course, right here off of the coast of the Carolinas, specifically Myrtle Beach, they had some pretty decent snowfall last night. I'll show you some video out of Myrtle Beach here, just giving you an idea of what it looks like on the ground here. And yeah, now this isn't like their version of St. John's Town Center. It's a big kind of shopping district, and I'm sure you're not You're going to be hanging out inside the shops there a little bit. And you notice it's not plowed, it's not salted. It's because when you get this far south, it only snows like every. Actually, I talked to somebody earlier who was from this area. So last time it snowed like that was in 2022. So why would you invest the infrastructure into that for snow removal if it's only snowing once every like 5 years? That's Myrtle Beach. I do want to show you Newport, North Carolina as well. So let's jump over to North Carolina here. We got some aerial images and same deal. You don't really have the plows out there. Cars just trying to chug along. Man, not telling you, I have a drone and I have that Part 107 license. And I personally would probably not be flying in this. That looks rough on the drone. And just overall, the rough, cold, frigid weather in those areas. So let's come back and let's talk about this. Let's talk about our storm here and all this cold air spilling in from the north. And you take a look at the national picture. 33 currently with the wind chill in Jacksonville. Atlanta's at 25. Look at like Toledo. 6. The West Coast is warmer, and eventually we're not going to get that 81 in Phoenix, but the warmer air is going to come in our direction later on this week. We have to get through this cold first. And here's what's going on. So our low is going to kick off there towards the north. Get out of here, low. Cold air is still in place as we go ahead through Monday. We have that high pressure dominating. What I like to say is big bubble, no trouble. What that simply means is a big bubble of high pressure continues to dominate. And that means clear skies, sunny conditions. We do have another low that's going to fall on its heels. Now, you see this by Wednesday night. Could be looking at some rainfall here in Jacksonville. Wednesday night into your Thursday morning. I don't anticipate a lot of heavy stuff, and this will probably be after sunset and overnight. So most of us will probably miss out on any of that precip. The good news, at least as we head into tonight, as that low pulls away, the winds will back off. And that is the key thing. It is not going to be nearly, not even remotely close as the weather we've seen yesterday. By the way, if you have any social media questions, let us know, but keep it weather related. I'm not going to address anything else because that's not what we're doing here. We're going to talk about this cold, especially making sure we're keeping everybody safe. And that's the key thing, right? Look at the breeze coming in from the west here, and you take a look at the winds dropping off on Monday with that high pressure. So the winds drop off, but it's still frigid. So the wind chills won't be so bad. But we do have cold weather advisories in place through Monday morning. You can see here, really the entire First Coast for that matter, things are staying on the chilly side. In fact, if we go further towards the south, we actually have extreme cold warnings. And you might be curious, well, why is it extreme cold warnings for the I-4 corridor down through Fort Pierce, but we're under a cold weather advisory? Are they colder? No, they are not, but their threshold is not as high as ours. So that's the key difference between Central Florida. And you get that. They have a citrus crop, and there's a lot of homes that just don't have heating. They might have the AC, but not the heater. So that's something I want you to just kind of remember here. Let's take a look at that morning low temperature here heading into our Monday. And, we're staying into the 20s here across the First Coast. Of course, tomorrow morning, this is what we've been talking about here, those frigid conditions to start off the day. I do want to remind you, your tire pressure, that is something too. I know personally, my car needs to be filled up, okay? We have this cold air, and that pushes those cold air molecules together. And for every 10 degrees of temperature drop, you drop 1 psi. So yeah, make sure you check that tire pressure out there, especially after last night. If you didn't have any issues, again, tonight you might start to have some of those issues there. And here's a look at that bus stop forecast. Boy, it is going to be cold out the door tomorrow morning for the kiddos. Make sure we wrap them up. All right, continuing to talk here about this cold weather, but I do want to go to a break because, yeah, we got to make that money here on FCN Plus, of course. We'll be back in just a minute. Let's hear your questions, weather related out here on FCN Plus Weather Impact Live. So we'll be back in just 1 minute. All right, let's get back to our forecast here. Do want to address the comment Billy just asked here on our Facebook page. Is this the end of the cold in Jax? I hope not. That was a quote from Billy. Okay? Billy, you are a different breed. I respect you, but I do not respect your opinion. You know, and hey, okay, so tonight is not the end of the cold. In fact, Tuesday, we're going to be getting up to, well, 62, but the low is at 29 degrees. Now, here's the deal. If we do get up to, or get down to 29 on Tuesday, that would make it 8 consecutive days of below freezing temperatures in Jacksonville, which would tie the record. That pretty incredible stuff for consecutive days of cold temperatures. Not overall, but consecutive below freezing temperatures. And then you can see there on that 7-day, we do get back up to the 70s by Wednesday. So we're a little bit of the ups and downs here, but the cold air is not going to last forever. We got another about 48 hours before we start to rebound slightly closer to average, but we're not summer yet. By the way, Wednesday is Groundhog Day, so if you love our supernatural gopher, or here in Jacksonville, Pelican Pete, you'll want to check that out. All right, so let's talk about our weather impact alert. For tomorrow morning, it's 24, 52 only for the highs. Still frigid, but the good news, not as windy. Those winds are going to be coming in out of the southwest, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunrise at 7:18. Sunset will be at 6:03 p.m. You know what? People have been asking for this, and I'm starting to put it back in the salt life forecast. Basically, if you want to do a little surfing, if you want to do a little fishing, or go a little boating, is tomorrow a good day to go boating? No, not at all. What? Okay, what is going on with this graphic? What is going on here? Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to fix this right now just for you guys. It's not going to be 70 tomorrow. It's it's 52. What is going on here? High tide will be at 8:09 a.m. That's an error if I ever seen one. Starting off 30, 52 into the afternoon. Got that westerly wind though offshore. It'll be about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So we're gonna have about 3 to 5 foot seas out there. So yeah, it's gonna be chilly, chilly, chilly. All right, for Tuesday, we're a little bit warmer after a cold start. So Daniel, you got another day, okay? We're gonna see 29 degrees for our low. Tuesday's high will be 62. So we do start to warm up into the afternoon. Sunrise will be at 7:18. Sunsets at 6:04 p.m. Getting later and later and earlier. You know what that means? Typically, it means we're starting to finally warm up. And then we come back full circle to that 7-day forecast here. Starting off that cold, that warm air continues to push in. Chance of rainfall Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That'll primarily be overnight. And then we get another cool down. By Friday morning, we could have a low of 33 before we start to work our way back up the temperatures ladder there to about 64 to 67 on Sunday with plenty of sunshine. But Wednesday and Thursday, the clouds will return. Big topic still is for tonight, that cold air setting up, really chilly. You see our lows go up, but at least throughout that extended outlook for Jacksonville, we're staying above freezing. Friday is going to be questionable, but you know, these 20s will be behind us, and we're always worried about that. Of course, you know, we're talking about the pipes breaking, your plants, but also just remember, if you're out there for any extended period of time, just if you get confused, shiver, maybe you might have difficulty speaking or just sleepy, these are all signs of hypothermia. And just sometimes you just got to get inside, get somewhere warm, get somewhere safe, and make sure you're getting through the day here. But just to recap, once again, a weather impact live here. We're streaming because it's cold out, obviously. Pipes are a big issue. We're going to talk more about that coming up at 11 o'clock tonight. But I didn't hear that the JSO, was it JSO or JEA building downtown? I think I double check that. But I know, well, the point is there's plenty of buildings downtown that are going to be closed tomorrow due to weather impacts here. I think the main issue is water. The pressure is really taking a big impact in downtown Jacksonville. Just make sure if you are running those faucets tonight, don't run them full blast. You just want that little drip, hot water. Get that water running through it so you don't have those impacts from those faucets here. So that's the big thing I want you to remember. But I'm, of course, meteorologist Robert Speta, always keeping you posted here at First Coast